Okay, right. Lee Cronin's The Mummy. It's a reimagining on the classic mummy trope, but with a modern spin. Lee Cronin did Evil Dead Rise, which was excellent. So the story starts with mum and dad. He's a journalist. They're in Cairo. They got two kids. The girl goes missing. Story doesn't end there, obviously. It'd be a very short film. We pick up 8 years later, and she is found in a 7-year-old sarcophagus. Not in the best of states, they explain. Her vitals are all good. She's still very strong. The best thing they can do for her is not a professional medical team, it's take her home. And there the story starts. Firstly, loved Evil Dead Rise. I thought it was fantastic. I thought Lee Cronin slid into that world very, very nicely. This, on the other hand, was a bit of a mixed bag. So that's the main story. They get her home, things start going askew, as it were, and they have to figure out the problem. If you take a bottle of tequila into the cinema and you take a shot every time somebody goes, slams a file, book, folder, you would die. I want to talk about a few things first, and then I want to get into the gore and the grossness because this film's disgusting, by the way, but I'm very conflicted because he's carried over the Evil Dead vibes, but I don't think that was intentional. This film is very funny and sometimes funnier than I think it's intended to be. But you have 3,000-year-old sarcophagus, mummy that predates that. You've got 5,000 years of history to pull from. And this entity, this being, this demon that's all powerful. And this is something that's bugged me with a lot of modern horror. If we release this all powerful demonic entity, the world will never be the same. And like the worst thing it does is pocket sand and licks a foot under a doorway. I mean, you give me enough tequila and I'll do that. That's not exactly world ending terror. The conflict between the mum and dad as well is kind of predictable. There's a moment when she's all bedbound, she's clicking. Next minute, she's up, she's in the rock, like she's in a crawl space, running around, just circling this house, like the old Call of Duty zombie games when you used to run in a big circle and turn back and shoot. And then the dad goes the other way, and they end up in a conflict, an argument afterwards, where she's like, I don't tell me how to raise my child, or you don't think I can raise my child," something like that. "I'm perfectly capable of handling it." And you're like, did you forget the last 15 seconds where you both just got absolutely pummeled by a demonic 14-year-old that was, no, we're just, okay. And it is gross. But the problem with the gross factor, it works in The Evil Dead because Sam Raimi spent enough time, when you go back to the original and as those films progressed and the evolution of those films, where the demons are shit talkers and they cause carnage and they're a little bit campy, and that style and that aesthetic fits in those films. In this, it felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be. It was tonally inconsistent. There are some times where there's a lot of exposition, a lot of the mum and dad are talking and they're both reacting very, very differently, and not in like, oh, one shocked, one sad. It looks like they're in two different films. And Jack Rayner's a great actor. If you've seen Sing Street, you'll know. But something in this just felt off. And the grossness coming from that, not just the fact that you've got this all powerful entity, this super demonic thing, and the worst, but it's all fingers and nails and toenails. It's all fingers, nails, toenails. That's it on repeat and in small doses, or when the camera's right up here, right here. After a while, you become numb to it. You become numb to it, and it stops having the effect that it should have. Ultimately, first act, I was invested, and with the scene when they get the phone call about getting their daughter again, I was emotionally invested. I genuinely was all in, and then for a big middle part of that portion, it didn't really do it for me. Not just that, these are bad parents. There are so many moments in this where something will happen. So the two kids get possessed, obviously, and one's slamming their head and one's doing meth. I don't know. And the parents are just off doing their own thing. At no point do they go, we should check in on our two other children, which I don't know. And then you also get these other characters that are brought in that they seem to not know what to do with, or they're just there for exposition and then they're gone, like a professor, which I thought was going to have a bigger role in the film, and then he's just there and then he's not. Ultimately, I'm leaving it with a 2 out of 5. So just that's where I'm at. Yeah, it's been fun, and I'm back. I took a couple of, I took a month off because of work and family commitments, but now hopefully back up and running, and we're back at it. We're going to keep going. So look forward to the next one. Thank you guys.